Every movie tells a story. Every story tells a tale. Come with us as the people behind the Cinemadness podcast talk candidly about the stories that connect them to their favorite movies. This is Real Stories from the Aisles. Hey everybody, your pal Adam is back for another Real Story from the Aisles, and this time I'm going to tell you my process on how I watch a David Lynch movie. And this is going to revolve around his, I think it was 2001 movie Mulholland Drive. Back in that time, I had a girlfriend who didn't really like me much around this time. In fact, we weren't getting along, and the only thing we did really, as a couple that really didn't fight about was go see movies. And the movie was called Mulholland Drive, and it starred Naomi Watts, and it was directed by David Lynch. So we kind of knew what we were getting into, but we were gonna go see it anyway. She thought it was funny that there was a douchebag character who was a filmmaker, and his name was Adam. So she thought that was hilarious. So we had to go see this movie, and it was a long drive. It was a long drive to see this movie. Back in the early 2000s, there was only one theater that would show the kind of less popular artsy type films, and it was a good 45 minutes away. So we went to this movie, and we sat through this movie, and when we left the movie, it was one of the worst things that I think I had ever seen. And I let out the most detailed list of things that I could not stand from this movie. And I went over it, and we actually had a really long conversation. There wasn't an argument or anything. And that's not what this story's about. It was just setting up the mood. But the whole drive home, it was just me mostly talking about what I hated about the movie. And by the time we got back to our place, I was so engrossed on what I didn't like about the movie, I told myself I needed to see it again just to show what I didn't like. So a few days later, we went and saw it again. And I started pointing out, I was like, see, that part's dumb. I don't get that. I don't get that. Oh, I kind of get that. Okay, there was that. And then the movie ended. We left again. I said, I still don't like the movie, but I don't hate it as much as I did. And again, we talked about everything that I didn't like and everything that I started to understand. So I said, screw it, let's go see it again. So a couple days later, we went and saw it again. And by the third time, I started getting it. Like, it was starting to just snap in my brain. And I was like, okay, I get that. Oh, okay. Yeah, I get that. Okay. Yeah, this isn't that bad of a movie. And that was the last time I saw it in the theater. But not the end of the story. I got to the point where I did not dislike the movie. I don't think I liked the movie, but I did not dislike the movie. And when it came out for home release, I rented it. And this time I could watch it a couple more times without having to make the long drive, which I did 3 times before. And I was able to sit and really take in the film. And I really started to get it. And I got it. And I love it. And it is, to this day, my favorite David Lynch project that he's ever done. So I went back to his other stuff that I didn't enjoy. Well, I enjoyed Twin Peaks, but, there's a lot to Twin Peaks. So I went through the series again. Remember, this was early 2000s, so it was 20 years before the continuation, sorry. And then I watched Fire Walk with Me, which was a difficult movie to watch, or to sit through. It's not a difficult movie to watch, it's a difficult movie to sit through. And on a second viewing with Firewalk with Me and the series, I enjoyed it. So I went back and watched Eraserhead. Watched that a couple times. Still don't get it, but I don't dislike it. I don't think I enjoy it, but I don't dislike it. So then I went back and watched Lost Highway. Lost Highway is still a movie that I do not enjoy. I don't understand. I've watched it 3-4 times. I just don't get it. And it has not yet snapped in my brain. I'm open to trying again, but I don't think it'll have the Mulholland Drive effect. This is what I call David Lynch understanding. And that's how I grew to love David Lynch as a visual and storytelling artist. He is absolutely not for everyone, and I commend him on that. He does what he wants to do, and he does it the way he wants to do it, which explains why he doesn't like his adaptation of Dune, because Dino De Laurentiis basically had him do what Dino wanted, and his cut of the movie I still would love to see, which is not the extended cut. The extended cut was made by Dino in the studio, which he took his name off of, which is why it says directed by Alan Smithy, which is a pseudonym for directors who don't want their names on movies. But even his version of, or his theatrical version of Dune is not what he wanted. I would love to see his actual cut, but that doesn't exist. But Dune does not need the Mulholland Drive effect because it is a studio film. It's not a David Lynch movie, quote unquote. But that is my process of enjoying, or at least getting, a David Lynch movie, is the Mulholland Drive effect. And to this day, it's still one of my absolute favorite David Lynch movies, and it's one of my absolute favorite movies. Maybe not my top 10, could be like my top 30, my top 50, but it's there. It's a damn good movie once you get it. And I know that sounds very, very, very hoity-toity, very hipsterish. Oh, you won't get it. It's like the jazz of movies. Actually, yeah, David Lynch is like the jazz of movies, and I don't like jazz. But I just wanted to share my my David Lynch process, and this Real Stories has been connected to Mulholland Drive, which is why I wanted to do this. And it's just another little tidbit about me, and I'm glad you're getting to know us more and more by these little snippets of our lives, and what movies are important to us, or what impact they had on our lives. So check out the rest of our Real Stories if you want, and remember to keep on celebrating cinema.